What's up guys, Volt here bringing you a brand new Fast and Furious car remake. In today's remake I am bringing you the 1999 Ford F-150 SVT Lightning that was in the Fast and the Furious, driven by Brian O'Connor. Now I did have a lot of requests for this back in the day, and people wanted me to use the Bison, which I think is more based around a Dodge type truck instead of a Ford. Bravado Bison, and Bravado in-game is mainly Dodge, just to let you know on that. I mean, I will put those on screen right now, as well as any that may be a little bit as more present-wise than before. So thank you all very much for the request and the support. Hopefully I did this vehicle justice. I think I did. And a little bit of a backstory. This is pretty much Brian's personal vehicle. I say that, but it's actually pretty much his personal work vehicle. He would use this as going back and forth to Racer's Edge and going to probably different customers and different people, ordering parts and just maybe even possibly delivering parts. Later on in the movie, of the very first movie, he actually shows delivering parts in the back of the vehicle, for the Supra and all that. So, I mean, it's pretty much his work vehicle for the most part. And a lot of people thought it was a pretty cool vehicle. Overall, it was pretty much stock, and as you can see for the build, it is pretty much stock. Sad part is, and I usually do this, I want to go and start off with the base price, but there is no option for the base price. Now, when I bought mine, they had it fully upgraded for HSW, and yes, you can upgrade it for HSW. But I mean, if you don't want to upgrade it for HSW, you don't need to. As you can see, the badge is right there for the HSW. I mean, it's supposed to be stock, and like horsepower wise, it did have a decent bit of get up and go, especially back in the day. They actually upgraded the engines on the cars and everything. I believe it was supercharged at some point. I mean, I guess the turbo kind of replaces the supercharger a bit in the game right now. I don't really go over performance all that much, but I'll go over that here in a second once we get into customizing. Like I said, if you're going to buy it from someone, you're going to be paying quite a bit, especially if it has HSW on it. It's going to be over $3 million, and I'm not kidding. It's over $3 million. So anyways, since there is no base price, let's go over and customize the beauty. As you pull in, the Vapid Firebolt ASP is in the off-road category. Pretty much self-explanatory. It is based around a Ford Lightning. Some people say that I didn't actually say what the last vehicle was. I used for the Dodge Stealth, what it was based mainly around. Doesn't really matter. It mainly looks like the vehicle that we're trying to recreate, or the body style wise anyways. It could be based around some other things, like the lights could be changed, the front bumper, the hood, or it mainly looks like a Ford Lightning. That's what the base body / design of the car itself is based around. Again, there's probably other changes to it, like the lights or something could be from a different Ford or something like that. It's kind of hard to say, but I mean, it's a Vapid Firebolt. Vapid, it being the Ford company in game, and Firebolt kind of representing it kind of like a lightning bolt, so it's like their version of it. It just fits really nicely for the build, and it works perfectly. Again, like I said, it is HSW, and the only other way you can actually get this, unless you buy it from someone, is if you're working on a career progress like me and you actually get the last version here. Now this version here is actually available whenever you do the files at the very end. You're doing the finale type deal, or possibly even doing the setups. I think it's outside as well. But this vehicle, it allows you to drive it around and everything. But once you get everything complete for the tier 4, you actually get this vehicle unlocked here. So you can get one for free by doing that. It does take a little bit of time and a little bit of patience to get. It is definitely worth it. Again, if you're doing performance wise, I kept everything stock, and I'm going to go over that right now. Even the suspension's going to be stock, turbo is going to be stock, the engine's going to be stock as well, and that is pretty much all of the performance wise. Now I did that mainly because, again, the truck was mainly stock. It still does have a decent bit of get up and go power. It still does have the HSW turbo boost sound a little bit, but I mean, it kind of replaces the engine a little bit for like the supercharger it's supposed to have, I believe. So it just kind of fits really nicely. If you want to keep it the stock version, you can get it the stock version without somebody upgrading it to house HSW upgrade, then go for it. I definitely would. But for me, I'm just going to keep it the way it is right now. I can't revert it. Otherwise, I probably would. So as I go over all my builds, I go over the overall look, the visual appearance, and the basic design, the car and how it's portrayed in the movie, game, or anywhere else in general itself. Anything I don't go over is completely up to you. I just put a few staples in on my build. If you recreate my build or take some things away from my build, you're more welcome to. Without further ado, let's get into the build. So like I said, this mainly, most of the vehicle is going to be stock, so we're just going to go over it real quick. Shouldn't be too long. Start off, we're going to go to bumpers. You want to go to the front bumper, and you want to go with the stock bumper. No secondary, carbon, or forged on this. It's supposed to be all one color, just like the main color of the vehicle. So make sure it is the stock front bumper. Best option there. After that, move on to the rear bumpers. You want to go with the stock rear bumper. Again, no secondary, carbon, or forged carbon. Make sure it is nice and solid red. That's what you want for the stock rear bumper. After that, move on to the chassis. There's two options you could go for. You could either go with nothing in there, so the stock chassis with the back open like that, or you could possibly go with the bed rack if you want to, quote unquote, act like you're actually hauling parts or something like that for a customer or yourself or your car. That's completely understandable too. It's completely up to you. So me personally, I'm gonna go with the stock chassis. I think it looks better. It looks a little bit cleaner. After that, move on to the exhaust. There's a couple options you could go for here. I believe the exhaust is supposed to be on the driver's side and it's supposed to be a double exhaust on the side. Unfortunately, we cannot get any double exhaust on the side. We can get a side exhaust if you want to go for that. Completely understandable. It does give the kind of illusion for the exhaust. It makes it all black, kind of like disappear, I guess, to an extent, to an eye. But it is still only one exhaust. It's not two, and it hangs down pretty low. So for what I did, I actually went with the stock exhaust. It is supposed to be double, but it is more angled and more of a nicer, better design, I think, than this kind of like oval shaped design. It's not really angled or cut off at all, in my opinion, for the exhaust here. But if you go to the stock exhaust, it's actually angled and cut off to an extent. It's completely up to you which one you want to go for. I'm going with the stock exhaust. I think it looks a little bit better. Even though it is on the back, I'm still going for that. After that, move on to the grill. You just want to go to the stock grill. You just want to have that kind of mesh there. You don't want to have any kind of like special grill in there, I guess. Like you don't want a chicken wiring or anything like that. So I would just definitely go with the stock grill. Best option there. After that, move on to the hood. Again, just want to go with the stock hood. You don't want no raises on there, no inserts, no hood scoops, no nothing, and no blowers, nothing, okay? Make sure you go with the stock hood. Best option there. After that, move on to the lights. You want to go to headlights. You want to go with the white lights. I think these fit the best because it fits best for the build, and I believe they were white anyway. So yeah, just go with the white lights. Best option there. If you can't do that, then possibly you can just keep the stock lights. That's a good option too if you want to do that. But I think the white lights are a better option. After that, move on to the neon kits. Neon layout's going to be none because it didn't have any neon. It was a work truck. Why the hell would it have neon? Kind of weird. Yeah, there's not going to be any color because there's no neon. No neon. After that, move on to the livery. I mean, it literally says parts hauler. It could be saying Paul's hauler. It could be saying, it just kind of screams the build. It's funny how they put the Los Santos Customs on there, overnight parts, custom ink, manifold, and reinforcement, instant quote. Like it literally screams Racer's Edge design, but it's Los Santos Customs on the side. It says parts hauler. This is what the truck was mainly used for, delivering parts as well as ordering for parts and stuff. That's what he was like mainly contracted out for his job of. Stop by customers, take orders, deliver parts to them, and things like that. Literally Racer's Edge, but I mean, it's parts hauler, Paul's hauler. I mean, it all fits the same, in my opinion. It's the best option to go for right there. You can't have any better option. And also, if you don't have it on there, it just looks like a plain red truck. So yeah, definitely go with a small little livery makes such a big difference. So yeah, definitely go with the parts hauler livery. Best option there. After that, move on to the mirrors. You just want to go with the stock mirrors. Didn't have no secondary carbon or forged carbon mirrors. From there, move on to the plate. You want to go with the blue and white too, because again, they are in California. And the custom plate you want to go for is 6R489H3. Again, that is 6R489H3. That's the custom plate that's on the truck in the movie and possibly in real life as well. Not really sure. It kind of lost touch with the people that actually own the trucks and what happened to the truck. So we don't really know what happened to them. Even Craig doesn't know. Again, if you guys want to know a little bit more about the truck, or if you want to know what was done to it or possibly what happened to them or anything, kind of information like that, I will definitely put Craig Lieberman's video down in the description below. Go check it out. It's a really good video. It also talks about Tej's NSX, which we don't believe we get to see in Too Fast Too Furious, but I could be wrong on that. But yeah, that's the custom plate you want to go for, and make sure it is a blue and white too. Saving respray for last, move on to the skirts. You want to go with the stock skirts. Didn't have no side steps, no tubes or anything like that. Yeah, make sure it's nice and stock, nice and clean. From there, move on to the spoiler. I mean, it was a truck. It didn't have no like trunk spoiler, no wings, no ducktails, nothing of that sort. So definitely make sure to keep none on that. So I know adding a spoiler to it would actually add traction. If they had a very tiny like carbon type spoiler, maybe I would put that on there. But I mean, it's a truck, guys. The truck tailgate and everything should be nice and flat and all that. So I would just definitely go with none. Best option there. Moving on from there, move on to the sun strips. Now, when I bought this vehicle, it didn't have a sun strip on it. And actually, upon looking at it, he actually had a black sun strip all the way across the front. And I will, again, put pictures on screen so you guys can see that. Bubbaloo, you missed that, bro. Just to let you know. Plastic sun strip, best option there. Don't go with the primary or secondary or even forged carbon. You just want a nice, solid black sun strip right across there. Even though it's plastic, it still fits best for the build. After that, move on to the suspension. I went with the stock suspension. I know it's a truck. It was a Racer's Edge truck, which I could probably understand if you want to lower it down to HSW and have it like lowered like this. I mean, I would probably go no more than like maybe a street suspension on there, but that's completely up to you. I still think just going with the stock version is a better option. It's kind of up to your own personal preference and thought. Maybe it had a little bit of extra work done to like suspension of it or not, but I mean, what Craig said, it was pretty much, it was all stock, so I'm just going to go with the stock suspension. I think it's a better option to go for. After that, move on to the turbo. Again, I believe it was supercharged when it came stock, so having a turbo on there is not the worst thing that could happen. It's not like having a stage 3 on there when you actually can hear it. The normal turbo is pretty much like the stock turbo for the HSW. It's kind of noticeable a little bit, but not as much. So if you don't have a turbo option, now don't fret. You're not supposed to have one personally in the build, I don't think. But if you do have a turbo option on here, I would just definitely go with the stage 1 turbo or just a turbo tuning option for the HSW. Again, it's completely up to personal preference what you want to do for performance, but I'm just saying what I went for mine. From there, move on to the wheels. You want to go to wheel type. You want to go to any category you want. It doesn't really matter because we're going to be keeping these stock rims. Heard me right. We're going to be keeping these stock rims because one, they were alloy. I mean, from the movie, they kind of looked a little bit chrome, but they're actually alloy. They're not chrome at all. So definitely go with the alloy design stock rims. The stock rims fit perfectly for the build. They look just like the ones that were actually on the Ford Lightnings back in the day. The other option that I could say go for is in the sport category, and it's the Ice Kids. These kind of fit it as well because they kind of like angle up and then jut outward. That part is they don't go all the way out to the edge of the rims. And the design's a little wonky, but I mean, it kind of gives the same kind of look to it. I know some people went into the street category, I believe, and went with the Hyper 5s, which I could see these as well. It's completely up to you if you want to go for these. I think these are a little bit better. They're a little bit more not sunken in. They're a little bit more flush, a little bit more out to the edge and everything. It's just a stock build. I mean, yeah, I would just definitely go with the stock option for the rims, the best option to go for. If you have any better options, let me know down in the comment section down below. I'll check them out, let you know what I think. You may even see it in the top 10 comment. After that, move on to the wheel color. Again, can't paint stock rims. I wish we could. That would be really nice because there's a lot of rims that come in alloy color that I wish we could paint. And then like you can paint them black, you can paint them white, you can paint them all like a rainbow color. Possibilities are endless with that, but sadly we cannot paint the rims if they're stock. Don't worry about that. After that, move on to the tires. You want to go to tire design. You can't change that either because again, stock rims, can't do anything with that. Sad, but hey, it is what it is. After that, move on to the tire enhancements. You want to go with standard tires. It wasn't drifting, so don't put low grips on there. And I mean, it is GT Online, so you can either go with standard tires or you can go with the bulletproof tires. Completely up to you. After that, move on to the tire smoke. You just want to go with the white tire smoke. Again, a stock vehicle didn't have colored tire smoke. After that, move on to the windows. Again, this California, pretty sunny, pretty bright. I would say either go with a dark smoke or a light smoke. It did have some tint to it. It wasn't none, and it definitely wasn't like blacked out like a limo. So I would definitely go with like a light smoke or dark smoke. I kind of justified it on some pictures that I found of like how dark the tint was and everything. So I'm going with the dark smoke. I think it fits pretty well for the build. Again, I would either go with a light or a dark, completely up to you. All right, and I'll see you guys in 2 seconds with a roll steel primer color. Alright, and we're back. As you can see, I have my car and my primered out rolled steel. Pretty much what I always do for all my builds. That way you know what colors I'm going to be doing for the LSC color and custom crew color. This time there's just going to be an LSC color, guys. You don't really need a custom crew color for this. It was just a really bright, vibrant red. And then upon looking at some pictures of another vehicle as well as the real life vehicle, and then someone actually made a complete carbon copy or complete copy of the vehicle from the movie that actually worked well with Craig Lieberman. They recreated his Supra, they recreated the Charger, the Eclipse. I actually noticed a little bit of a tint there that probably a lot of people didn't notice either. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the primary color. You want to go down to the metallics, and you want to go down and put on the brightest red you can get, which is Torino red. Now, as you can see with the Torino red, it actually has a little bit of pearl already, and that does fill up most of the vehicle, and that's what we want. After that, move on to the pearlescent. Now, the car color was like a vermilion red. To kind of get that color, it's a really bright, vibrant red with a kind of orange kind of hue to it, and it kind of makes it, as you can see here, the Torino red pearl looks pretty well. I was also thinking about doing a blaze red because it does give the kind of like orange shine to it as well. But I found one that's even brighter. So if I put on the blaze red real quick, we go down to the browns. The one I found that works even better and actually is a lot more vibrant is the Beechwood brown. It's also cheaper as well. As you can see, if I flip between the two, this is the brighter one, and that's the dollar one, which is blaze red. So if you put on the Beechwood brown, That's the pearl you want right there. It is a nice shine to it, a nice orange shine. It kind of makes it a little more accent and everything. And probably in the snow, you're not going to be able to see it. But I mean, overall, it looks really nice for the build. And that's what I say you should do for the color. After that, move on to the secondary color. This is just going to change the stitching on the interior of the truck. Make sure it's black. I mean, it's the classic black is what you want. You don't need to change anything about that, so that's nice. After that, move on to the trim color. You want to make sure that is a classic black as well. The black interior is what we want, plus the seats were gray with like a black middle part or middle insert to like the seats and everything. So just go with a nice black that fits the best for the build. And yeah, guys, that's it. That's how you recreate the 1999 Ford F-150 SVT Lightning that Brian O'Connor drove in The Fast and Furious as a truck for the racer's edge slash like delivery person, parts person. But then again, he was an undercover cop, so maybe that was an undercover job as a undercover cop job type deal. It's kind of weird. It's pretty much a work truck. I'm happy with the build overall. The only thing I wish I could change is I wish there was a double like tipped exhaust on the side. As the only thing I wish I could change or modify about the vehicle. Maybe change the rims up a little bit, but other than that, it's pretty much ideal and spot on for what we need. So let's go back to our parking spot. Let's go outside. Alright, so it's a little bit vibrant out. As you can see, I'm in the snow. My first time actually recording this got corrupted, so I had to redo this. That's why it's in the snow. So I'll do a little spin for you guys. You won't be able to see the orange too much, but you might see it shine through a little bit better when the snow's not around. Overall, I'm happy with the build. Like I said, the only thing I wish I could change is the exhaust option. It just needs that side exit exhaust on the side. Like it just looks better in my opinion. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about it down in the comment section down below. Let's go for a drive. So as this will probably be one of my very last videos for the year, I want to thank you all so very much for all the support, the love on the videos, the critiques, the feedback, everything you guys do for every single video I put out. Thank you so much, and let's move on to 6K family members by the end of next year. That'd be great, if not more. But yeah, guys, that's going to be wrapping up the video. So I hope you guys did enjoy. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Leave a comment down in the comment section down below for what build you'd like to see next. Stay tuned for more builds coming in the near future, as well as more live stream. There is going to be a lot more coming once I get my new PC. So again, stay tuned. You guys are going to have a fun time, maybe even some GTA RP as well. Let's find out about that later on in the future. Links down in the description below for Twitter, Discord, and the crew. Free to join, free to leave anytime you wish. And with all that being said, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for all the love and support, as always. You guys are awesome. And I hope to see you guys in the next one. Catch you guys later, and I'm out. Peace.